Hello, my name is Shadley. Welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Merina Kingdom. In previous episode, we managed to finally conquer the rest of Ethiopia, aside from what Egypt holds here in Eritrea. But now we've got all of that, we've got a decent bit of infamy, so we're not going to be able to declare wars for a little bit at least. But we're also losing a decent bit of money since we are currently incorporating Amhara, which admittedly is going to take a while. But that will be giving us a lot of taxpayers, which is pretty decent. And I'm all for it. In the meanwhile, it looks like Great Britain is conquering more. Well, I suppose they got the war against the Confederate States of America over here for southern Angola. So yeah, they're busy. And we're about to get another government administration built over there soon. Another 4 weeks, so that's going to probably fix the bureaucracy issues that we have, which means that we'll be getting some of the unrealized taxes back. Not all of it, but some of it. Is there a taxation capacity issue? Oh, Northern Madagascar is having a bit of issues now. Okay, we'll build one more over there then. There's actually a lot of pops available in here. Damn, well, I mean, I'm sure that the private sector will be building some stuff there over time. In fact, how's the investment pool? I suppose we are using quite a bit of the investment pool ourselves. Yeah, we are. So if we weren't constructing, then the investment pool would be going down a little bit. Oh, Confederate States of America versus an uprising. Alright then. And there we go. The bureaucracy issue is fixed. We're still losing quite a bit of money. I mean, admittedly, of the deficit, about half of it is just the interest. But I suppose once these buildings are done, we'll have a decent bit of bureaucracy. I do wonder if we'll actually have enough bureaucracy to start increasing the education level, for example. Just increasing the education access so we can get the literate rate at least to, like, originally when we started the playthrough, I said that we want to get it to at least 70%. Or was it 74% or somewhere around there, because we started with like 7 point something. Maybe it was 7.1, so that would be 71. Basically just to tenfold it. And yeah, we've got population 22.4 million now, which is quite nice. We've got a bit of rubber now over here. We're going to have 22 plantations there. It's not too bad. I might build a rubber plantation over here just in case, although it might not be very profitable right now. I'm sure that there will be uses for it. I suppose another thing that we could do after the shift work over here is get to the vulcanization with at least elastics and textile mills, which is quite nice, and bicycle messengers, which is improving our military a little bit. That's an option. Actually, I think that is what we're going to do. Then maybe the vacuum canning, so we can start using a bit of oil at least. Or go for the rotary valve engine, so we can get the electrical generation, which would be quite nice as well. Well, regardless, we'll probably focus on the production at least for a little bit. But I don't think, like, other than maybe a bit of Yemen and maybe taking Zanzibar, I don't think there's going to be too much conquest that we're going to be doing during the rest of this. As the radical numbers, they have gone down a tiny bit again. I suppose the standard of living, well, it went down a little bit with the acquisition of Condor, which, you know, we got quite a bit of population in there. Standard of living, well, it's 12.4, so, you know, it's not atrocious, but, you know, it's not great either. A lot of these are now full on... Oh, I didn't check the farms and all that. Okay, yeah, we can do a little bit more in here. Use a bit of harvesting tools, perhaps. With the farms, I'm going to use a little bit of the methods to reduce the workforce needed. Also, we can produce some extra meat. You know what, I'm just going to go through here. That's probably going to be easier. This is already set up correctly. And the plantations, most of them at least, are using this stuff already. As they should. The rubber plantation, I'm going to put the transportation there just in case. Not that we necessarily need it, but I'm just going to put it there regardless. So we are number 15 worldwide in the GDP. I mean, if we want to be in top 10, we probably need to have like 100 million already. Which, to be fair, we can... Oh, child labor laws, will they pass? Yes, there we go. Defense income goes down, but the mortality rates will go down. We can have more education institution investments. Which, that does remind me, we should probably start... Oh, we need 126... Oh, it's 168, actually. To increase that. Alright then, well... That's actually interesting. So over here it says 126 per level, but it's actually higher than that, I suppose. Well, regardless, we're still getting a bit more bureaucracy, so we will increase the education investment, most likely. We've got the Home Affairs. We don't have the colonization, but that's probably fine. We don't have anywhere to colonize, really. So I'm guessing if we were to incorporate Gondor, that's a lot of points, but that would also be just 5 years to do that. So we might be able to go for that one at some point. Right, so Casimid State, how much of an infantry, or how much of an army rather, do you have? 5 plus 28. It's not really that bad. Now, of course, if we were to declare war on them, the infamy would go up quite a bit. So we don't really want to do that. Oh, well, there we go. Now we're getting more money because we're not using the construction sectors at all ourselves. At least not a lot. That remind me, I could probably get another one. Currently at 130. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to build a few more construction sectors, especially in Ethiopia. That's already at 10, but I suppose we can go even higher than that. Construction efficiency over here is still a bit reduced. So we'll need... You know what, I'll build one more in our capital as well, because there's a lot of extra pops in here. So the faster we can construct things in here, the better. And that's going to be, well, it's going to cost us a decent bit of money right now, but then it's going to be an extra 20 construction points that we can have going in, and then we'll use up the investment pool a bit faster, which is currently already 36.7 million. So it's not going to, oh wow, changed. Yeah, it's going up quite a bit. Alright then, well, luckily the construction sectors don't take long to build. Oh, we're getting synthetics plant already, and we don't actually need the synthetics plant, to be fair, not yet at least. It's getting 2 levels already, wow. Interesting. I mean, it's just to produce dyes, but we can farm the dyes quite easily. So I'm a little bit miffed about that one, but I suppose if there's demand for... Actually, let's have a look at the market. So, automotives are very high demand. Oil is starting to be pretty high in demand. Okay, fine arts, electricity, opium, wine, sugar, coffee, coal, lead and steel are at least things that have more than 10% extra or increased price there. Shift work unlocked, there we go. So let's have a look. Does this now have the throughput of... Yeah, it's got extra throughput in there. I suppose over here there's even more, or better example, yeah, there we go. There's throughput plus 50%, so even more food. Not that that's a bad thing or anything. Right, so now we're getting the vulcanization that is actually spreading to us as well, so that's good. We'll have some use for rubber at least, and then after that I might go for the pump jacks. Because that is something that we will no doubt be needing. So we can get the oil discovered in, I think Oromia is the one that has chance of discovering oil. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure. If not there, then I think Yemen might be able to get some. Let's have a look. Is there... Yeah, discoverable resources in there. Good. And how we got on the... I suppose the troops over here are kind of ready at least. Of course, there's only 5 ready. Oh, that reminds me. Can we try getting the... We could try going for the mass conscription, but the rule folk would not like that. Over here, they would not be radicalized. We got 10% for the armed forces. Oh, actually, we got a lot of authority as well. So, armed forces, I'm going to start bolstering you. Just to get the professional army finally in. And then we're going to increase our army size a lot. And at that point, we could probably do a little bit more warfare if need be. I mean, the national militia hasn't been too bad. Other than the fact that we have to use the conscripts, which is quite expensive in itself. Government is still contested, although we have gotten a pretty good legitimacy overall now. Oh, because it's the... We've got the new ruler with the intelligentsia. Okay, good. Must have gotten the notification over here at some point, but there's usually so many things going on. So good, we've got a new ruler. Let's have a look at the government. So the new heir is part of rule folk. Okay, at age 0, so we've probably got the new ruler rather recently. Oh, and we got a little bit of revolution brewing. I mean, it's only going to go to 58%, so I'm not too worried. Oh wow, yeah. State construction efficiency minus 15% isn't all that great. And we're reducing relations with Zanzibar. We're still trying to reduce the relations with Lahej, but that's not really going anywhere. There we go. Now we've got 11% chance already on this one. I mean, I still don't know if it's going to go... Well, it's fairly high chance that it will stall or debate, or a little bit chance of success, so it's very likely that we will still not get this law passed. I'll give it a try at least. The radical numbers have been going up again a little bit. The standard of living average is 13.4, which again isn't massive, but in some places like Yemen, it's probably 16.1, 15.5, and 16.1 in the Madagascar provinces or states. So that's overall pretty decent in the core territories. I suppose over here we've got 13.3, 12.3, 12.2. So there is actually a decent bit of extra pops in here. And they are building another munitions plant now. Good. Actually, one day, is there any other buildings that we could... Oh, textile mills. Suppose I'm going to put in the mechanized looms. and those in as well. Tooling workshop. We could use a bit of coal. That's going to free up a lot of workforce, admittedly. Which we... Oh, universities, right. That should be giving us a bit more innovation, I guess. Oh, right, there's a university kind of in here, but it's not actually in there. I'm just going to build it in there, I suppose. So we've now got 50.5% literacy rate. Still not great. Oh, but we do have the bureaucracy now to actually start increasing the investment. I'm going to go for that one. And that's going to give us a bit more education access, which should mean that the literary rate will start going up faster and faster. Right, so as soon as the infamy goes down a bit further, I mean, technically speaking, we could afford going a little bit over the 25 limit, or the threshold in the infamy, but at the same time, it does increase the chance that someone will declare war on us. Oh, and we've got poor relations with Russia already, okay. So let's just say that if we were declaring a war on Casimir State, it's quite likely that Russia would oppose us if we have too high infamy. They have a large army as well. I don't know if they'd be able to reach in there. I mean, sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. As an organization, then we've got the pump tracks. So those are going to be two very important techs for us. Good connections. And I'm in time. Trade unions would be even more upset. Oh, increase enactment time for the time being, but we don't want to anger the trade unions even further because the radicalism is already pretty darn high. Although I'm sure that over time it will start reducing. If you want peace, sure, we'll reduce the relations with Casimir State even further. Armed forces will be liking us even more. So how bad is the... Right, if I get -3 and rule folk get -3 from the radicals, not exactly the best of situations. I do wonder actually, so we are using quite a bit of stuff there. I don't know if we have enough bureaucracy to start doing another one of these yet. So I'll just wait on that one. There's one of the things that I could do. Have I incorporated? I have incorporated Eritrea already, so that's good. Secession in Congo. Oh. Right, Confederates are having more problems, and they did not get the southern Angola from Portugal. Oh, and it slipped back to 16th in the GDP total. What about in the population? We are... Okay, we're number 14. My estimation was that we'd probably be around 15, so it was pretty close after conquering Gondar. Oh, and now that we've got another ruler, our infamy is actually dropping faster. Alright then. That's actually quite nice. So I think Yemen is going to be something that will conquer at least the non-Hejaz areas of it. Although, yeah, Hejaz is part of the... You would say part of the... I mean, actually... Right, we can't declare war on... No, actually, we can declare war on... Okay, it's about 9 infamy that we'd be getting from taking the Yemen side of Hejaz. Okay, well, that's not exactly the best of situations, but it's not the worst. I think we're going to live with that. It's just right now trying to pass the professional army. I mean, at least the armed forces have gained more and more influence, so that should at least get this, or improve our chances of passing this law. It might not be quite enough, but it's a start. So Romeo and Gondor still have a bit low market access. Still got some... Oh, right, yeah, it's just saying that, hey, I could be constructing things, but I'm not going to worry about that one. We've got a lot of turmoil in majority of the states that we have. Or some turmoil, at least, not necessarily massive amounts. Oil is expensive. Opium is expensive, and Southern Madagascar could use a bit more taxation capacity. Now, to be fair, in the society, it's currently spreading the mutual funds. Oh, right, that's actually quite nice. Oh, now it's saying that a bureaucracy shortfall is going to happen. Now, admittedly, it's not going to happen. We'll slowly get that one done at least. Oh, they've stopped improved relations now, finally. So we could, if need be, we can do another war over here as well. Now, over Lager, we can't do... Or Lahej, sorry. We can't take the stuff yet, but it would be 6.6 infamy if we do declare war on them. Opposition members put forth demands. 15% chance of, yeah, we'll take that. Armed forces might lose a little bit approval rating, but it's still at 20, so we've got nothing to worry about. And if we can pass this law, the better. Or sooner we can pass that law, the better. Oh, I managed to increase the legitimacy a little bit as well. Good. Now we've got a good 300,000 loyalists, and oh dear, we've gained more and more radicals. Oh, Russia's damaging relations. Oh, we were trying to improve the relations, but I guess they had other opinions, or other plans, let's just say. Alright, so at least that's going down. I can't declare rivalry there yet. And we're getting a pretty good amount of money. We've still got 1.5 million in debt, but that's not too bad. All things considered. Did we build up the extra bureaucracy in here? Not recently. We'll build one of those. That's going to cost us a little bit, but if we built like one building at a time and the rest goes to the private sector, that's still going to be good enough. They've got a lot... Oh, they've started building a lot of coal mines. I mean, that's fair. The coal is quite expensive. There's this... Oh, right, because trade unions are upset. The construction efficiency is reduced quite drastically. Or a decent bit, at least. Investment pool is only going down a tiny bit. I suppose we're building something right now, so that's having a bit of impact there. I think what we're going to do, though, is we're going to start increasing the amount of construction sectors over here. So that's going to be up, taking us to 160. That'll be 8 buildings at once. 170. Another one over there. And one in Somaliland. That was going to get us to 190? No, 17 maybe? Hold on a minute. That's 30 extra, so 180. Ah, there we go, we got the education investment now. So we got 50.8% with literary rate. Of literary rate, but I'm thinking that it will probably keep on going up quite a bit. It looks like the GDP hasn't really grown that much recently. I'm sure that it will start growing or going up a bit further soon enough. Especially with the vulcanization, we can start making a lot more... well, first of all, we can start utilizing our rubber that we're going to start producing more and more. But also we can increase our armory quality a little bit. And then after that, we'll get the pump tracks, which unlocks the oil. And oil is going to be very important. The further and further we go into the game. Admittedly, it's already 1913, so we don't have that long into the game anymore. Oh, Kazim State is actually trying to improve relations. That's a bit of a surprise. The infamy is gone in about a year at most. So probably in about half a year we can start, well, especially if we can pass the professional army, we'll probably immediately build a few barracks, especially in Ethiopia. And then we can start declaring the war on Kazim State. If we need be, we can still activate the conscripts, but I'd rather just go with the Journal of Philosophical Studies. 10% more prestige for 5 years. It would cost us 8,000 per week for that 5 years. We will fund that journal. That gives us a bit more prestige. I don't think we can go much higher in the ranks. We can... Yeah, we can go up to 22 total. Because we're a subject of France, but... You know, it's not the worst, I suppose. Right. Next week, we're going to get the vulcanization. Still making okay amount of money. Although we still got about 1.5 million in debt. Right, so that's done. Let's go ahead and switch the army to the bicycle messengers. They require a little bit more tools. Oh, and apparently got some conscript centers that have not been set up correctly. There we go. Now, will it pass? Nope. Descenders break ranks. As always. Like, Descenders breaking ranks while trying to pass the professional army has probably happened already about 15 to 20 times in this run. Well, maybe not quite that often, but still, like, a lot. Now, we'll just keep on bolstering the armed forces for the time being. Eventually, they will get enough support that it will just pass. I mean, technically speaking, go for the mass conscription is another option if everything else fails. Because now we can actually try passing that. Although, again, it's going to be a massive... it will radicalize rule folk a lot. But since we didn't pass the law, I suppose we'll just wait until we get to, like, at most 2 infamy, which shouldn't take all that long. Then we can start the war against Kazim State. And that's going to be a decent bit of pops that we'll conquer from there. That's going to be another 1.7 million. Ah, repeaters. Ah, good. So, what we can do is we can go for the arms industries. And start producing more rifles. I suppose we can also go for the breech loaders now. Increase the productions that way. Oh, and textiles, right, elastics. So that's going to... Oh, wow, substitution almost 15,000 from there. I mean, it's going to take a lot of rubber, but, like, rubber price is fairly low overall. It's going to increase the amount of shopkeepers as well, which is probably not a bad idea. So I'm guessing the standard of living... Well, it's probably not going to have that massive of an impact there directly, but I'm sure that it will improve the situation. Oh, wow. How did we get just 500,000 suddenly in about a year? Extra radicals. We haven't even conquered anything. I suppose it's just a revolution sort of brewing and the trade unions being very, very upset. But I was trying to get a professional army. Yeah, our GDP hasn't been growing all that quickly. I mean, we're building a lot, so I'm sure that it will slowly improve, but it's just it's a bit of a slow climb there right now. Although now with the elastics and all that, I'm sure that will start getting better, and I think we might be getting a bit more rubber plantations as well. And right now the rubber price over there... Oh, actually, let's get a rubber plantation in northern Madagascar, because there we have quite a few textile mills, so we can get some of the rubber produced locally. That'd be quite nice. Although the rubber price overall is still really, really small. Alright, how far are we from getting the mutual funds? That should be done in due time. So once we have that, we can start getting a lot more capitalists employed, which does mean that we'll be getting a lot better standard of living overall. Which of course then means a lot good to or wealthy taxpayers, let's just say. And also you should start reducing the radical numbers maybe a little bit. So France is having an uprising in Congo. But of course that is not on my business, it's over there. Our relations with Zanzibar are now below... I could declare rivalry there. That's going to give us a bit more influence to use. And now our infamy is 2, so I think at this stage we're going to start the war against Kazimid State. At least start diplomatic play against them. And let's see what happens. Also, let's go ahead and activate this army. This will probably be good enough to win this battle, of, assuming that they don't get any help from someone else. So they got irregulars as the basic infantry, and oh, they do have light infantry with shrapnel artillery as their conscripts. But of course, it will take them some time to activate those troops. Need improved relations. They haven't set up any war goals yet, but I'm sure that they will once we get to the diplomatic place. I'm just hoping that no one supports either side. If no one supports either side, then we will have an easy victory. If someone big joins on their side, then we might have an issue, but we don't have a lot of infamy. Oh, bollocks, the barbaric address goes awry. Okay, I'm just going to take that one then. Not going to try passing this law. I'm going to, well, I suppose mass conscription, no, that would radicalize both red unionists and rural folk. That would be disastrous. So I suppose we won't be getting any better military. Sorry about that. Apparently the game decided to crash right there, so... I suppose we didn't start the, or we're back a bit behind. I'm gonna slow down the speed to speed 4 because I think this going full speed all the time is, with the late game, it's just, my poor PC can't handle it. But anyway, I suppose we can restart the diplomatic play against Kazimid State. Let's see if it works this time. And we've got another role on the professional army then. Which, you know, that's not really a bad idea. Let's bring in the army there. Let's see if we can't get this war going. So they've begun conscription already. But even with their conscription, we'll have still a pretty decent amount. Oh, and we did switch our army quality, didn't we? Now the question is, of course, are those troops already fully recovered from that or not? There's a tiny bit of penalty in there, but it's not too bad. Like, it will be done by the time the war starts. Still making money even though that is going on, and yeah, we'll hopefully get the professional army. We've got a decent chance of doing that at least. Oh, well, it still goes alright. Okay, so we won't be passing that law then, I suppose. No point trying to force it. Let's have a look at other laws that we could try passing at least. So there's migration controls, we could go for the... Oh, closed borders, we're not going to go backwards there. Free trade can probably stay. We could try switching it to Presidential Republic. Although that would radicalize a lot of groups, so maybe not Parliamentary Republic. That would also radicalize a lot. Okay. The voting laws, we could try passing the center suffrage. That would not... Oh, no. It would radicalize trade unions. Oh, because they are still... Okay, right. So it wouldn't actually radicalize them. We'll try to go for the center suffrage. The revolution should be going down at least. Actually, I think the game is still... Okay, if we go to speed 3, it might reduce the problems. Because the game is rather CPU heavy. Among other things. But anyway, looks like we are... Well, they're slowly getting some of their troops active. But we should have the advantage in numbers, at least in the beginning. They declared me a rival. Oh no. They want to humiliate me, okay. Well, as long as I don't put any more war goals in here, I should not incur any wrath of the other nations around me. In the meanwhile, let's actually have a look at the market again. So automotives, there's demand for them, but there's no supply for them yet. Oil is demand, oh yeah, oil demand is pretty high. Fine art demand is fairly high. Wine demand is pretty high. Electricity, opium, coal. Okay, well, I mean, coal mines we have been building more and more. We already got 25 out of the 80 in there, another one underway. That's making us a lot of money. Oh, Zimbabwe uprising against Portugal. Well, I'll be. Yeah, now they've got 16 battalions total. If we do have a look at the quality of the troops, we should have high defense and attack than they've got. Even their defense. So yeah, we should be fairly well suited for this. And with the bicycle messenger, that does give us a bit of an advantage. And skirmish infantry, of course, helps a long way as well. Legitimacy is still at 75, which is quite nice. That does mean that the radical or the loyalist number should be going up. The radical numbers, well, they might start turning down a little bit now that the trade unions are no longer radical or being radicalized by the laws that we're trying to pass. So, you know, it's getting at least a little bit better. And it looks like no one is able to join at this stage into the war. So we'll probably win this war fairly quickly. Although I do realize that we are actually out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.